All right, welcome back to Statistics with Dr. David Bugg. We're going to look at another way to calculate the standard deviation today. And to do that, we're going to use a formula known as the standard deviation using raw scores formula. Because the traditional standard deviation formula is sometimes considered a little cumbersome, there was also another formula for standard deviation that was developed. We can see that here, where we're solving for s equals the square root of the sum of x squared over n minus the mean squared. And this is why it's called the raw scores process, because we only use raw scores here. There's no calculation of an x minus the mean as we saw in other formulas. Excuse me. So the first step here is to take our scores, and in this example we have a standard deviation for the number of hours worked by employees at Acme Trading. So 6 employees who've worked those hours. And our first step is that we are just going to create the column x squared, and we're going to take each x value and we're going to square that, so multiply that by itself. So x squared is 9 multiplied by 9, which is 81. 7 squared is 49. 5 squared is 25. 3 squared is 9. 2 squared is 4. And 1 squared is 1. And so we have our x squared column. And then you'll notice in the formula, we're going to calculate the sum of x squared. So our second step is to sum the x squared column. So to create sum of x squared. And if we add 81 to 49 plus 25 plus 9 plus 4 plus 1, we have a total of 169. Now, we'll take a pause there. We need to calculate the mean and then square it. So calculate the mean first, summing the x column. Total value of the x column is 27. There are 6 cases, and dividing 27 by 6 equals 4.5. And then if we calculate the mean squared, if we take 4.5 and square it, we end up with a mean squared value of 20.25. From here, we can plug this into the standard deviation for raw scores formula. So solving for s, we're going to plug in first the sum of x squared value, which comes out of step 2, 169. So it is 169 over n, and n again is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cases. And then we're going to subtract from that our mean squared out of step 3, 20.25. Now, in our next step, let's remember our order of procedures. My dear Aunt Sally, we're going to oops, that's a little crooked. We're going to multiply, divide, add, and subtract first. So let's divide 169 divided by 6. Gives us a value to 2 decimal places of 28.17 minus 20.25. And then we can do the subtraction. So subtracting 20.25 from 28.17 gives us a value of 7.92. And that would be the variance. And then if we take the square root, 7.92, the square root is plus or minus 2.81, which is our standard deviation. And so if we have an average of 4.5 hours and a standard deviation of 2.81 hours. Okay, so that is our solution for the standard deviation using raw scores formula. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next video.